What's up, tennis fans? Sleepy Picks here. We got another match in the round of 16 of Cincinnati Open to talk about, and that's between Alexander Zverev and Tommy Paul. Let's take a look at the matchup. First match, we got Zverev versus Paul. Head-to-head here is 2-1 in favor of Paul. We'll talk about that in a second. They haven't played since last year. We get Zverev coming in. He's 17-6 on the hard courts, 24-9 last year, 29-10 the year before, and he's coming off a loss to Griekspoor in 3 sets. Remember, this was a little bit surprising here, especially considering he was able to break back and make that set 4-all in the third, and then gets broken immediately to lose the match. A little bit shocking there, especially given how well Zverev's been playing this year. Zverev was able to get through Cam Norrie and Terence Ottman, and that match against Terence Ottman was a great match from him. Ottman, obviously, it looked like the knee was really bothering him. He had it wrapped, had a lot of tape on it, and I think pushing off really affected him. He did great to compete and keep this match close. I mean, we were splitting hairs here, 2 breakers that Zverev was able to clutch out, but this was an extremely tricky match for him. And at the end, I feel like Ottman was kind of running on adrenaline. He was really pummeling some of his forehands, and I didn't think we saw a lot of that in the middle of the match. And I think maybe if we saw some more of that kind of earlier on in both sets, we might have been able to get a few breaks in favor of Terence Ottman. But Zverev looking better and better. We talked about that first set that he played against Norrie, where he did not look great, didn't serve well. Now we're starting to see him, get a little bit more comfortable on the hard courts and start to build his confidence. Tommy Paul, he's 16-8 on the hard courts this year, 13-6 last year, 17-12 the year before. He's coming off a straight set loss to Lerner Tien, and this match was very disappointing. It felt like Paul was just missing left and right, just couldn't really get anything going. Lerner able to redirect, take a lot of time away from him, and just really frustrate him. Paul comes in and he wins a 3-setter against Hurkacz, which was a very nice win for him, 6-3 in the third there. And then a match against Vallejo where he drops the first set, and it looks like it's all the same as it was against Lerner. Vallejo able to dominate with that forehand. He was roping a lot of big shots. And Paul just not really, I don't know if I want to say it just felt like he was playing the B game. He's kind of rolling some balls back, and it was like, this is not going to work. He goes down a break 2-0. So you got Vallejo, he's 4 games away from winning this match, and Paul only drops 5 games after that, winning 6-3, 6-4 in the following sets. The one adjustment that I liked was, number one, I thought Paul did a great job playing the ball more aggressively and not hitting it as big. I felt like the commentators were really saying oh, he's roping the shot. He was just taking it earlier. He was just really challenging the movement of Vallejo. I think he started to understand, this shows you kind of how smart these guys are. He understood that if he allowed Vallejo time to set up for that forehand, that ball was getting pummeled past him, or he would find himself on his back foot where Paul was not able to kind of control these points. But if he was able to hit behind Vallejo or take the ball early, then it allowed him to stay on offense and create more points. If you look at the breakdowns of the points where Paul was controlling in the first set compared to the second and the third set, I think you're going to see a very stark difference. So a really nice win there for Tommy Paul. I mean, he came up with some big shots as well against Vallejo, and we got to credit Vallejo. That was a close final service game there for Tommy Paul, and he gave him everything he could handle, but Tommy Paul able to clutch it out there. Head-to-head here, as we talked about earlier, it was 2-1 in favor of Tommy Paul. They met first in 2020 in a straight-set win for Tommy Paul in Acapulco. Then they met in Indian Wells, a 3-set win for Tommy Paul there. That was in 2022. And then in 2025 last year, they met in the Australian Open quarterfinals. And, this was a nice run that Tommy Paul was on. And the match was very tight, 7-6, 7-6, 2-6, and then a 6-1 final set. A little bit disappointing there in the final set, but we know Zverev is the class of the tour. Guys, just looking at this matchup, I wonder if Tommy Paul has been awoken now. If we're going to see a Tommy Paul that is now motivated and ready to take on a higher level. Because if he brings the level that he had against Vallejo for the first set and a half, I think he's going to be down and out pretty quickly against Zverev. But we know Tommy Paul's got a good return. He can take a lot of shots early. He can come into net and pressure Zverev. He can put a lot of pressure on that Zverev forehand side. So I can see this being a tricky match. However, I have to pick Zverev here, guys. He's starting to serve a lot better. Let's take a look at these serving numbers here against Atman. 68% first serves in, won 85% of those, and he won 60% of his second serves. Terrence Atman won 71% of his second serves. That's very impressive, but his first serve numbers were not as good as Zverev's. 44 winners from Alexander Zverev. Yeah, I just, I think Zverev's starting to click here, and this is a form that we're more familiar with this year, where he's able to, once he gets the serve going, he's so lethal on the hard courts. I can see this going 3 sets, but I think it's going to be 2 tough straight sets here for Zverev. I think it would take a lot from Tommy Paul to take a set, but guys, this is a prove it match from Tommy Paul. Like, show us that you're ranked 24 right now in the world. Show us that you can compete with the top 5 guys. Show us that you still have that ability. Remember, you were frustrating Zverev back in 2022 with your style. He can definitely do it here. You were frustrating Zverev for 2.5 sets in last year in Melbourne. Now we're on a similar hard court surface. He can definitely do it, but I just haven't seen enough for me to trust that he can, one, get this match done, but two, even take a set. So I'm going with Zverev. I think he gets this one done in 2 tough straight sets. Here's a look at our third round records, and a great day for the Pamplemousse. 7-1 yesterday. What a showing there. 6-2 for me, 5-3 for the Gecko. The Pamplemousse starting to rally a little bit as the tournament goes on, and we know the Pamplemousse always gets stronger as those rounds get deeper into the tournament. Hopefully we can continue this winning ways into the round of 16. And as always, guys, thanks again for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Share your picks in the comments. Share the video. We will have individual videos out for all the round of 16 matches as they become available. I will also try to get a combined version of all the round of 16 matches, because it seems like a lot of people like to watch that as well. That'll just be a full-on 30-40 minute stream of all the 8 matches for the round of 16. Can't wait to talk about each of these matches with you guys. I'll see you in the next video.